is 5555 Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Bet. Easy money, easy. Some will say there's no such thing. Is there? Imagine being tipped off. Imagine just having more than a inkling. This Super Bowl is setting up for one of them. It is basically a pick-em. Depending on where you shop, it'll be Super Bowl 59, the 8th time they have done it in the Superdome in New Orleans. I was lucky enough, the first Super Bowl I ever covered in person was in January of 1997. Lord Favre and the Green Bay Packers in a come-from-behind effort against the New England Patriots. Led to one of the great, I think, sports books of all time, Michael Hawley's Patriot Reign on Bill Belichick, where he just blasts Bill Parcells. He was out the door. It was kind of like Mark, to this audience, kind of like Mark Richt when he took the Georgia gig. Bowden never should have kept him on. The difference here is Rick was the O coordinator against Oklahoma in Miami, and obviously Bill Parcells was still the head coach of the Patriots. And, he was going to go to the Jets. He made that comment that if I'm going to be the chef, I should be able to shop for my own groceries. Word has it that he, didn't like the pick of Terry Glenn. He called him a she. Remember that? The late Terry Glenn. Terry Glenn passed, didn't he? That's bizarre. It was a car accident for Terry Glenn. But it was two former Jaguars who were the difference in the game. Lord Favre hit Bad Moon Rising, who was released that year by the Jaguars. I will say to this day, without any question, the most awkward and unpleasant situation I have ever witnessed in a locker room. When Andre Rison was cut, the Jaguars locker room, I thought I was in Harlem. I did. I thought I was outside of the Los Angeles Coliseum. I thought it was by the old Orange Bowl in Miami. It was scary. Now, only a few people were there, okay? But if you witnessed it, it was unkind. It was about as bad as anything, again, I've ever seen. But anyway, he scored a big touchdown. Desmond Howard, right after New England went ahead, Desmond Howard had the 100-yard kick return. So that was back in New Orleans. They're going to do it again there. Chiefs and Eagles. The perfect bet. I mean, come on. It seems so easy, right? Most of my audience bets. Whether you do it casually, whether you throw $100 on the game, whether you really go out and believe that you can make, a good wage on it, like my friend, the Philly Godfather, who's made millions and millions and millions on it. His book's coming out in March. We'll preview that with him once again. I'm absolutely looking forward to reading it. But, what would you be willing to put on the line if you knew it was going to come through? To me, there's no such thing. But why is it that way? Why can't you find just one game or one bet? It may be as stupid as the coin toss. It may be something like Jalen Hurts completions compared to Giannis assists and rebounds. That is a prop that is available coming up on this Sunday. I mean, what if I just said, okay, I'll give you $10 million if you get it right, but if you get it wrong, you go into the pokey for a year? How many people would do that, honestly? $10 million, enough for the rest of your life if you invest it the right way, right? $10 million. But if you get it wrong, you go into jail. Man, there's not a chance in the world. That's really my main goal in life, stay out of jail, right? There's only one way I could ever end up in jail. I'm totally convinced. There's only one way. and that is if I was drinking and driving. Okay? I don't break laws. I don't do anything else wrong. There would never be a situation. Okay? That's why I have a great GF. I happened to find a GF 16 years ago who doesn't drink. Okay? So, young men out there, look for someone like that. It's important. It's the little things. And by the way, to me, this is not little. It is huge. It is enormous. And I got totally fired up with Guess Who concert on Wednesday night. I didn't have anything to worry about because the GF is the DD. But the perfect bet, let's give that a moment's thought, because I've always been under the impression, and this comes from years and years and years of really following the game, okay? I love it. I don't do it anymore. I haven't done it. I will again. I absolutely will again. And as I said, I think yesterday, it might have been on Tuesday, whatever, I kind of envision myself at some point later in life alone, with not much to do, except maybe, knock the white ball around, play some golf. And at that point, when I got nothing left to lose, maybe I'll just bet and be angry on my own, because most gamblers are angry, because most gamblers lose. And I'm not talking about going to Vegas and playing cards and playing slot machines. I'm talking about sports wagering. Just ask yourself, are you a winner? Are any of your buddies a winner? If they're being realistic with you, if they're not lying to you. I know very, very few who have ever had the success when it comes to doing it. Yet it's legal, right? Is it legal here in Florida? I guess it's not. It is down south, right?
It's legal here, only through Hard Rock.
Okay. So do they have a website or whatever that you can?
Yeah, they have a casino in Tampa, a casino somewhere else, and you get the Hard Rock Sportsbook app.
All right. That, my former employer before I came here was the Sporting News. That's how they got pinched. Go ahead and Google it. I think they got fined like $11.5 million. Paul Allen said, forget about it. I'm out of here. The late Paul Allen. We weren't allowed to run those commercials. And those offshore casinos spent so much money and just kept sending it to us. And, a year or so later, we got caught up in it. But to me, this is, and I've thought I don't have the talent to do it. Okay, but I've thought about writing a book on this and really starting from almost like high school and being like a high school. And this wouldn't make a lot of sense now. I would have to go back in time, maybe date it in the 80s or 90s, because local books now no longer exist, right? Wasn't there someone at your school who held the book? Always the wealthiest guy at Florida State was the bookmaker. Why? Because the student body's going to lose. Student body's going to get drunk, and they're going to double down on their bet. That's why the Sunday night bet is always the most important bet. It's always the largest bet. It's not Monday. You run out of money by then. But it's the Sunday night book. And, I've thought about putting this together, about a kid that kind of gets picked on. He kind of lives on the edge of town, but he keeps a book and he takes it with him, and then he finds a way to have a relationship with a 5-star quarterback and this hot girl, and then all of a sudden they get together. They pick this college for unscrupulous reasons. They go through it all, and then it sets up for the big game fix, which is years later in the NFL. And I've thought about writing it, but I don't know if I ever will get to something like that. I think it would make a lot of sense. But I just am infatuated by this. I continue to be, especially in the sport of football. And everyone claims to be an expert until the game actually is played. This line, depending on where you go, is a pick 'em. You may have to lay 1.5 for Kansas City, again, depending on where you go. But you could probably get it, even if you have to buy the point, as a pick 'em. Yeah, look at the pressure that you put on yourself to get this right. You have no control over it. Yet, why does it feel like everything's pointing to Philadelphia? Why does it feel like the media has created such a huge story here with the officiating and how Pat Mahomes and Kansas City gets calls that Philly's going to buy one? Philly's going to buy a call. Okay? It's going to come to them. Now, when is it going to come to them? Is it going to be early, or is it going to be far more significant when it's in the second half of play? And we always pick on officials, umpires, referees. They're so easy to hop on. But let's face it, so many of these calls are discretionary, right? Especially if it is pass interference or a good play. That's what I see happening in this game. A pass interference call that is either made or it's not made. And remember in that building in New Orleans a couple of years ago, the huge controversy there. But I feel like that is going to happen in this game. I feel like Philadelphia is the better team. If you were to go through, 1 through 20 and pick talent out, why do I think 12 or 13 of the 20 are Philadelphia? Now, the best player of all is on Kansas City. And obviously, even though Travis Kelce has slipped a little bit, he's such a big game player. Chris Jones makes enormous plays when asked. You can't overlook that. The best player this year might be Saquon Barkley. I don't know. Again, there's a running back we're talking about here. Typically, it comes down to QBs making plays very late in the game. So, as I just said to, Hayes and Frank, everything right now is saying to me, Philadelphia, Philadelphia, Philadelphia. But when I really analyze it, I can't get over the fact that I see Kansas City getting the ball back with a couple of minutes to go. Either they're down by a couple, or they're down 3 and they kick a field goal and they win it, or they force an overtime. That's the way I see this game ending. Still don't know who I'm going to pick. It's coming up here in a little bit, and we'll certainly have some fun with that. We'll also bring in our buddy Rafael Esparza. He's going to join us at 6:45. So give me your thoughts on that. 641-1010 on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. My guess would be this, if you're honest. Most of you who have said it's the perfect bet have lost. That'd be just a guess, right? If it's so easy, it looks so easy, it's typically not. It's just amazing what those folks, the bookmakers, do, particularly in Las Vegas. So anyway, just a thought on that if you're considering and you are playing. And, outside of the presidential election, where Rafael Esparza told us that nothing is even close to that. I mean, they get 10 times the amount of money that the Super Bowl does get, and we'll see how active this year's Super Bowl is. I mean, the props are really taking off this year because, you got the whole, what's her name, Taylor Swift angle and all of this. Esparza sent me an email today, man. He was asked to come up with 5,000 props. It just drives you crazy. I think that's another part of it, why you get it wrong, is you see prop after prop after prop after prop. It's kind of like Rosie O'Donnell going down a buffet, right? It's immediately like the meat section, and it's like, Rosie's like, pork, beef, feed, turkey, and it's just one after another. And by the time, you get to the salads and you get to the vegetables and the fruits, Rosie's like, no, this is good enough right now. That's the way it is with these prop bets. It looks so easy, one after another, after another, after another, that I think it's there to really screw with your mind. And you start seeing things, and who knows, maybe even hearing things. All right, Fred Taylor did not get in last night. Not a surprise. I thought it would be a year away. Now I'm not so sure after looking at who will be eligible in 2026. It is absolutely scary. A little bit disappointed in the voting here. Let me clarify this by saying I think it's been watered down. Maybe not as much in football, but certainly baseball. And that is the Hall of Fame that I still look at more than any. There's something about Cooperstown. There's something about the Baseball Hall of Fame that is magical. I think it's head and shoulders above everything else. Okay? I really enjoy the whole process of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think they're a little bit better. They do become forgiving later in life with the Veterans Committee or whatever the official name of that voting process is. But my gosh, there were 6 or 7, I felt, shoo-ins last night. And to only pick 4 is really an example of snobbery. And I don't get that. I only end up getting 1 right with Antonio Gates. Everything I read, and I'll tell you this, I was forced into it with Luke Kuechly based on all of the prognostications that I read. That did affect my opinion. But I thought for sure that at least one of the wide receivers would have gotten in. In the case of Jimmy Smith, this is bad news for him. Because here goes another year with Torrey Holt. Here goes another year with Reggie Wayne. Here goes another year with Steve Smith. Next year, you're going to add Larry Fitzgerald, who's automatic first ballot. You've still got guys with better numbers than Jimmy Smith who make the 25 but don't make the final list. I mean, Anquan Bolden, Hines Ward. There's someone else I'm forgetting that we talked about last night. And that is disappointing. Outside of Fred Taylor getting in, I thought the most important scenario a night ago was for at least 1 wide receiver to get in, if not, hopefully 2 wide receivers. We didn't have any. Okay, Eric Allen, 54 career picks, in. Sterling Sharp, in. Jared Allen, 136 career sacks, in. And if you already look ahead, okay, I'm shocked that Eli Manning didn't get in. I thought first-time ballot guys, Eli Manning, and again, he's 117 and 117 as a starter. Is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer? In my mind, he's not, but you can't take away from him that he won 2 Super Bowls. There's the difference. And we know about the miracle grabs by Mario Manningham and the miracle grab by Tyreek Hill and just what happened. Not Tyreek Hill. Who am I thinking of? Who made the other phenomenal grab?
The Giants?
Had it pinned against his helmet with Marvin Harrison. David, who is it?
David Tyree.
Thank you. That's why we have Dylan Denmark around. He's spot on with everything. And also, getting to the quarterback. Coughlin was able to get that defense to rush 4. And they were absolutely spectacular in both those victories. If Brady pulls it out and they win, I don't think Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer at 117 and 117. Now, he comes from the first family of pro football, and that is obviously going to help. Adam Vinatieri's another one that I thought would get in. I'm thinking they just said we're not putting a kicker in during his first year of eligibility. So anyway, I thought that those 3 first-timers would get in. But next year, Larry Fitzgerald, automatic. Drew Brees, automatic. Frank Gore, he's 3rd all-time rushing. You have to put him in. That's going to hurt Fred Taylor a little bit. Jason Witten, he's top 5 all-time in receptions. He's in, and then you get to Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers had a much better career in every statistical category than the guy that he was traded for, Eli Manning. The difference, Manning won 2 Super Bowls. So I know many are disappointed by what did occur a night ago. It ended up being the smallest class since 2005. The Hall of Fame, only 4 sent in. If you want to send us some of your thoughts on that as well, you can. The best way to do it is on our text line at 641-1010. All right, opening comments tonight and every night brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision, where they have now introduced Dr. John Hunt. He is the newest member of their practice. He is an ophthalmologist. Cataract surgery, absolutely. Along with Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. Neo Shmunez, more than 30 years worth of experience. What about cosmetically speaking? It's part of what Dr. John Hunt does as well, especially when it comes to eyelid surgery. So whether it's needs or wants, they have you covered. All right. A need, no doubt, is something that is incredibly significant, very dangerous. If your eyes are starting to get away from you and you're noticing problems, why would you delay? Why would you keep pushing this off when I'm telling you the best is right here? Shmunez Vision. Check them out online. Go to Instagram, Shmunez Vision. Get all the testimonials there as well. Folks, I don't want you to miss out on this. All right? Make an appointment. have a test for, a prescription, an update there, and also just the overall health of your eyes. There's none better than the good folks at Shmunez Vision. All right, we're fired up. It's a Friday night. Did I mention that the Jaguars have completed their coaching staff? Let's take a look at that on the other side. We'll also get you involved. The best way to do it is our text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
The home of the home team you grew up with.
And what a pleasure it must be to play quarterback for the Jaguars, to have this kind of talent on both sides of the ball.
1010XL.
This is Dr. George Bari, inviting you to look online at BariOrthopedics.com for the latest in medical advancements when it comes to getting you back to full joint health. After studying under Dr. James Andrews, I know proper diagnosis is the first key to treatment, and educating the patient is the fastest path to recovery. Whether it's chronic back pain, nagging arthritis, or necessary joint replacement, we're here to serve you in the best possible way. We are Bari Orthopedics, and online at BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Mia O'Brien.
Is going to be the first woman president of the United States of America.
Catch me weekdays from noon to 2 on Helmets and Heels.
And she could run later this year even, and I would vote for her.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota on 1010XL.
Your home is your sanctuary where memories are made. Jack's homeowners trust Superior Fence and Rail to make their home feel safe, secure, and complete. Imagine a classic wood fence for privacy, sturdy aluminum to protect your pets, or a modern vinyl design that boosts curb appeal. Every fence is built with precision and pride, standing strong in every season.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
The Jacksonville Icemen are back home Friday and Saturday night as they battle the Trois Rivières Lions. Friday's game is Cancer Awareness Night, presented by Liberty Landscape. Come support the Icemen as they fight to stick it to cancer. Saturday, bring your dog to the game for Pox and Paws Night, presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital. 7 o'clock at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksIceman.com, or call 904-602-POP. Iceman Hockey is #Frozen Frenzy.
Valentine's Day is almost here. You can't get away with just a card this year. Beard's Diamonds is here to save the day and your wallet.
Oh, and it gets better. Every purchase between now and Valentine's Day comes with a free dinner at Fogo de Chao.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
I'm I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. No matter the weather, Triumph has an unbelievable selection of rides where you can get out and just enjoy the highway.
They do. The new Rocket is out with the new color schemes, the Tiger 1200, which has been revamped. These bikes are nice, gorgeous, and ready to ride.
And if you want to take a look at the selection, they can just roll into the showroom and see a full variety.
We've got them all in stock and ready to go.
So if you log on, cyclesofjacksonville.com, search the Triumph line, and then head into the showroom, you'll be impressed. Cycles of Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Barra & Barra, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
If this world were mine.
Hey, Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
That's what I'm talking about right here. Kendrick Lamar. I won't be going out for a Cuban cigar during halftime. I'll be sitting in watching this.
You can bet on his first song.
You can bet on everything.
Yep.
Hey, Roman numeral 7, baby, drop it like it's hot. If this world was mine, I'd take your dreams and make them multiply.
That's smooth right there. Playing a little golf with Aaron Beasley tomorrow. I imagine he'll have this. He's always got the good music locked up. So that'll be tomorrow. How about 3275 sending us receipts? He's got a wager here. I don't see the date on it, but
he just texted June 5th.
Okay, June 5th. He put $125 on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl at plus 1,600. The payout would be $2,125. Congratulations, young man or young woman. We don't ask for. Actually, I'm not even going to mention that. Can only get in trouble. I mean, I could. Could you believe what Ballou said? He didn't know if it was a guy or a gal. I'm guessing it's a guy. We do have a lot of female listeners, though, especially to this show, especially to 6 Day, especially since I brought Dylan Denmark onto the program. We're just loaded with ladies. I think you're responsible for that. Have you ever had the perfect bet?
I have not. Every time I try to do a parlay, like I had the Eagles in a parlay, got 4 out of 5, would have made 50, would have turned 50 to 500 something.
Yeah.
And the Jalen Hurts touchdown I got called back, I would have hit. So I always just miss if it's a big payout for me.
I always thought that the 7-team or 8-team or the 7-point or 8-point teaser, back in college was such a joke that the book always won. And our great friend, the Philly Godfather, is actually playing on Sunday, Philadelphia, first half plus a half point. Okay? So if they go in after 30 minutes up 1, he wins that bet. Then he's playing an 8-point teaser where all you need is 41.5 on the hook, 41.5 on the total, and you need 8, you're getting 8.5 on the Eagles. I've always been one who has believed that parlays and teasers, no, it's hard enough to win one bet. Why would you try to win 2? And I understand that you're grabbing a touchdown's worth of points, but to me, no. It's win the one bet.
Well, the thing is, a lot of these, like Hard Rock, they always do a plus 30%, whatever you bet, if it's $50 minimum wage. So that's where they get them, and then they just, those bookies, they roll in with the money with those. Especially with games like Sunday, where it's the only game on and everyone knows it. Yeah, they're gonna make a killing.
If I was forced to bet, I would take under 49. That's what I would do. I think it falls under 49. Maybe dead wrong. Okay. Maybe, absolutely. But again, I don't have to prove myself to you on it. I do not bet. I have not bet. I have no interest in betting as of right now. But that is going to change. And when that does change, I'll let you know. Like, I'll let you know about everything. I just don't have it in me to do that right now. All right, getting a lot of good response, though, from you on our text line at 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. We'll get there. Let's pull up YouTube as well. All right, making more and more friends daily on YouTube as well as on Twitter. You can get us anywhere. Where else can you get us right now, Dylan? Facebook?
Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the apps.
The apps always work. The 92.5 app is outstanding. My dad listens every night in Tampa. People listen across the country. I get texts here from folks all over. And we know the radio station on 92.5 or on 1010 is always the biggest hit. But if you're out of the city and you're heading elsewhere, just hop on our app, the 92.5 app. Especially Into the Night is always on. Regardless of the set of circumstances, we are on each and every night. Okay, let's get to the Jaguars. The biggest hire as they completed their staff today. My biggest concern remains the offensive line. And they hired Sean Serrell. We talked about him a little bit yesterday. He comes from Minnesota. They really went after quite a few guys, most notably with Grant Yudinsky as the offensive coordinator. But, I'm looking at Serrett. He's 45 years of age. This is his 14th season coaching in the NFL. He was currently the assistant offensive line coach for the Minnesota Vikings this past year. You go back and take a look at his resume. He spent quite a few years as well in Pittsburgh. Let me see here. He went to Kent State. Started coaching in 2004, high school. Then he went to Marshall. Then he went to Duke. And he was there for 3 years at Duke. In 2012, he became an offensive assistant in Pittsburgh, became an offensive line coach, an assistant offensive line coach, 2018 in Pittsburgh, was the offensive line coach in 2019 and 20 in Pittsburgh before going to the Los Angeles Chargers years 21, 22, and 23 as the assistant, and then moving over to Minnesota last year as the assistant offensive line coach. Phil Rauscher was an assistant offensive line coach primarily in his career before getting that tag, 3 years ago when Doug Peterson was announced as the head coach of the Jaguars. So there are 2 years of him being the offensive line coach in Pittsburgh. But again, this is another not youthful move because he's 45. And compared to the other coaches, he's right up there, right? Liam Cohen's 39. Campanile, I believe, is 41 or 42. We talked about the offensive coordinator, Yudinsky is 29, right? Whipple's a young guy. So this coaching staff, it's very obvious that, they're not building this thing to be in the Super Bowl in a year. This feels like it's a patient hiring cycle that, yes, there's pressure on anyone in the NFL, but it is to build this thing up. And I think that is the realistic way to look at things. And the reason why, and there's no getting away from this, no matter which way you look at this Jaguars football team, there is massive room for improvement. Anywhere, okay? Offense, rushing offense, passing offense, offensive line, run blocking, pass blocking, tackling, covering. Linebackers can't cover me. Secondary, terrible, particularly in the middle, right? No pass rush outside of your two ends. No depth, right? And your interior defensive line was soft. So outside of your kicker and your punter and your deep snapper, this entire team needs a complete change as far as confidence, scheme, and production. There's nothing that you can hang your hat on and say, whoa, that's right, outside of the rookie, outside of Brian Thomas Jr., right? Everyone else is kind of like you hope, right? Even when you talk about Jarian Jones, when you talk about Ventrell Miller, when you talk about Tank Bigsby, when you talk about Brenton Strange, it's all with, well, you hope. You hope it's going to get better. And in those situations, maybe they will. Say what you want about Trent Baalke, but I just fired off a bunch of guys. He drafted some players who we believe can play in this league. But instead of rehashing the former offensive coordinator, the former defense coordinator, look at the list of these names. All right, Edgar Bennett, the wide receiver coach, obviously born and raised here. High school teammate with Leroy Butler and went off to Florida State with Leroy Butler. Edgar Bennett was a running back. He was actually, that was back in the days of two-back sets. Edgar Bennett was the fullback ahead of Dexter Carter. He was the fullback ahead of Sammy Smith in those years, maybe even Amp Lee, or that might have been William Ford. I think they kind of went one to another. But I looked at this coaching staff today, and it was like, damn. I mean, who are these people? That is the way they went about it, okay? These are not names that are very recognizable. And I think what they all have in common, in my opinion, is it feels like it's a younger staff who has a lot to prove, right? They're bringing in a lot of assistants in making them now ahead of where they are. Edgar Bennett is the exception to that rule. I think for the last 8 or 9 years, he was the wide receivers coach with the Raiders in both cities, both Oakland and Las Vegas. But I think that that's what you have to look at more than anything when you analyze this staff is that no matter where you go to, it's about totally changing this football team in every sense of the word. Okay? I don't know much at all about Sean Sarrett. That's going to be what I'm going to look to do here over the weekend and certainly get into it early next week. I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed just because I don't know anything about him. Now, he may end up being the best offensive line coach in pro football. I was really outspoken about my opinion on this. I wanted Kevin Carberry. I wanted the offensive line coach who worked with Liam Cohen a year ago in Tampa Bay. I get it. The only way you could have gotten him would have been to make him the offensive coordinator. If you made him the offensive coordinator, you wouldn't have been able to hire Grant Udinski. Right now, Udinski is probably the biggest talk in town. Outside of Liam Cohen, everyone's now this 29-year-old guy who sleeps in a car, who eats and breathes football. It's a feel-good story right now with Udinski. And when you look at Cohen and Udinski, the first thing that comes to mind is just how involved they were with two quarterbacks who have completely changed their careers. Sam Darnold, the biggest one in Minnesota. I still think a little bit of credit or a lot of credit needs to go to Dave Canellis for what he did 2 years ago in Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield. But Liam Cohen kept that going, and Baker Mayfield had a career year this past season in Tampa. So, want to comment on that? Absolutely, you could do that as well. 641-1010 on our text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. All right, coming up next, let's go to Vegas. Let's talk to Rafael Esparza. We'll get his thoughts on the game. And, I mean, the guy's created thousands and thousands and thousands of props for Super Bowl 59. We'll take a look at some of those as well.
Your home for Florida Gators basketball is 1010XL.
It's another top 10 matchup as the Gators tangle with the top-ranked Tigers. Florida, Auburn, Saturday at 4 on 1010XL.
If you're listening to 1010 and you're a parent, chances are your kids are playing sports. Well, check out i9sports.com with spring and summer registration open right now, including all new girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows. i9sports.com, enter 1010 for a discount.
These days, we do everything from our phones. That's why JEA's app lets you manage your utility services anytime, anywhere. Whether you want to view your account, pay your bill, sign up for programs, or check the outage map, you can do it all right from the app, when and where it's convenient for you. Because we want to make doing business with us as quick and easy as possible. Download the free JEA app from the App Store today. JEA, your community, your utility.
Joe C. for Florida Home AC, and now's the time to tune up that heating and AC unit. Take advantage of their $69 seasonal tune-up special. Keep warm in the winter and cool in the summer with Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars.
Ballou here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, it's kind of cooling down right now. I love opening my windows up this time of year. If you're looking to upgrade your windows in your home, I want you to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Ask about their latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows and doors, rated #1 by Consumer Reports in all 3 main window categories. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. That's Pella Windows and Doors online at PellaJacks.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
February 7, 2023, LeBron James scores 38 points to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer as the Lakers beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. LeBron surpasses Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Yo, each of the T here for my bookie, and it's finally here. A game so big, we're not even supposed to say the name. Where the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Philadelphia Eagles at the Superdome. This isn't just the biggest game of the year, it's the ultimate betting event. If you're not on my bookie, you're missing out on all the action. Big game betting with my bookie goes beyond picking the winner. We've got all the wild props you can think of for this epic showdown. Will it be heads or tails? What color will the Gatorade be for the drenching of the winning coach? Even the length of the national anthem and the spectacle of the halftime show are up for grabs. My bookie loves giving you options to bet on everything. What really makes my bookie stand out? We make it easy to win and even easier to get paid. Whether you deposit in crypto or credit, bonuses await. And our new loyalty program gives you cash back just for playing. Bet on the big game boost parlays, live betting, and jackpots that can turn small bets into big wins. Fast signups, lightning fast payouts. Make sure you sign up using my promo code 1010XL to get that deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with my bookie. Come on, somebody.
Mia here. You want to know what I'm so over? Resolutions. You want to know what I am into? The revolution, hitting the road in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. So what do you say? Join the Arlington Toyota revolution and save big with financing as low as 0% on select new models. Or get up to $8,500 off select new Toyotas. Plus, every new Toyota purchase from Arlington Toyota comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty and 60-day exchange. Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295, or at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/0% for full details.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Don't miss the big game specials at Southern Steer Butcher. Check out our website for the big game snack attack, party combo, sampler combo, and the best buffalo dip you've ever had.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Let's go to Las Vegas. Rafael Esparza, MyBookie, mybookie.org. How long has it been since you've slept?
Probably 2 weeks. I mean, I've been at Media Row since Sunday, setting up. I finally left today, like around 1-ish, and I ran home just so I don't have to go back. So it's been a long couple of days.
All right, so you're in New Orleans then. You're not in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in New Orleans covering the Super Bowl for a couple companies. So it's been a whirlwind. Security's the biggest security I've ever seen for any event I've ever been to.
Good. Yeah, after the tragedy that happened on New Year's, yeah, no doubt about it. So I was going to ask you, but they've really did they also put those pillars up and stuff like that?
There's pillars. There's which I've been calling them G.I. Joes in every corner. Military with machine guns, pretty much on every corner of a street.
Wow.
It's. I feel safe, but at the same time, I'm like, wow, they really overdid it. But I guess when you have something like that, there's no more. There's always less.
Yeah. Depending on where you go, it's Kansas City 1. It's Pick'em. What do you believe come kick?
As of right now, I'm not hearing that much Kansas City money coming in. I would not be shocked by Sunday before kickoff. The Eagles might be 1-point favorites.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I've talked about it for the last, at times over the last 2 weeks. I mean, Raphael, to me, this feels like Philly is the better team and that Philly should win it, yet my mind keeps telling me Mahomes is going to get the ball with 2 minutes to go and they're going to set up for a game-winning field goal.
I agree. I mean, the Eagles were the favorite in their last matchup up in Arizona, so it does not shock me. Does Philly have the better team? Yes. Do they have the better defense? Yes. But there's one guy on both teams that can beat you, and that's Patrick Mahomes. That's why I'm leaning towards the under, because if I'm Philly, you need to run the ball, stall the clock, do not have the Kansas City offense, or do not have Patrick Mahomes on the field to beat you. So I'm leaning towards the under just because I think Philly needs to control the clock and run the ball.
Trying to remember where I was. It was either Arizona or Seattle, something along those lines, where for 2 weeks at Radio Row, all they talked about was the Deflategate. And, the Giants won that Super Bowl. It was a distraction. It was a talking point. Feels like it's very similar now with the officials favoring Mahomes, favoring Kansas City. How much have you factored into this, Philadelphia getting a call or two?
I mean, I'm not the biggest believer that refs do that, because born and raised in Chicago, had season tickets for the Chicago Bulls. Saw Michael Jordan play a gazillion times. He got a lot of calls because he was Michael Jordan. So, I mean, if you want calls, then win ships. And that's so far that's what Kansas City has been doing. They're winning ships, just like Tom Brady got the calls when they were winning the ships. Kobe Bryant and Shaq, they were getting calls when they were winning ships. So if you want the calls, then win a championship. So I'm not the biggest believer, but this is probably the first year I put so many official prop bets for referees and stuff like that. I've never done that many.
All right, which one are any? I know you told me you were asked to do about 5,000 of these props. You sent me a ton of them. Where's most of the money gone on officials?
How many challenges will be by both teams? Over unders 1.5. Everyone's betting the over on that one. Team to be penalized first for roughing the passer. Eagles open up at a -140. It is now -260 because we all know if you touch Patrick Mahomes and he falls down, you're going to get a flag on you. So everyone's betting the Eagles on that one. But we have a whole bunch of who's going to get who have the most roughing the passer calls. Eagles, Chiefs. Eagles is the favorite. So there's a whole bunch. What will be the first penalty of the game? False start, offensive holding, defensive holding, offside, delay of game. So a false start is +130 as the favorite.
What is a popular prop bring in? What does the coin toss bring in?
Well, this year, that's funny how you asked that, because about maybe an hour ago, BetMGM took the biggest coin toss bet. I think it was $23,000 on tails. I've never heard. It must have been someone really, really significance. They let them have that amount because normally the coin toss is maybe 1,000 max bets just because it's a Super Bowl and you're always going to get two-way action on the coin toss. So I'm actually blown away. I actually refreshed my screen and then called my buddy who that I've worked with at MGM for almost 15 years to see if that was true, and he told me yes, that is true.
All right, now this levels off. I ask you this every year. You can't say I'll take Justin Thomas or I'll take A.J. Brown to have more receiving yards on Sunday than Justin Thomas's final round at the Phoenix Open, and I'm going to place $1 million on it. There's a top-off there, right?
Yeah, I can guarantee you that one right there because it's a golf bet. I would say it's probably $1,000. Now, some other ones, like the NBA ones, they'll probably put like maybe a $5,000 max bet, like Jason Tatum total points versus Jalen Hurts pass attempts. A big game is your Celtics-Knicks on Saturday, ABC. That's a big game. So I can guarantee that's probably max bet is probably higher than a golf bet.
Raphael, give us a couple of the unusual ones you came up with. Again, you created so many this year. What are a few of your favorites?
I like which one to be shown first on TV during a live broadcast. So if it's just during the game. Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Archie Manning, or Arch Manning. Peyton Manning's minus 150. I say get the plus 250 one for Eli getting snubbed. I think they show him at plus 250 on that one. So I say grab that one. And I did some little flair for New Orleans area. What will be shown first during a live broadcast? Bourbon Street, Jackson Square / the Cathedral, or Preservation Hall. Made Bourbon Street the small favorite. I like the Cathedral. Get something nice. Get a good picture on TV first besides Bourbon Street. Because I think if you show Bourbon Street, you're going to talk about January 1st. I think you kind of want to have an up task on that one. And then what will be said first in relation to Jalen Hurts? Oklahoma Sooners or Alabama Crimson Tide?
Ah, all right. Very good. Very good. It feels like everyone has an opinion on Tom Brady, media and NFL fans. Did you do any props with him?
Of course, we did Tie Color. Will he mention any Taylor Swift song in the broadcast as probably one of the biggest ones out there? Will he congratulate his former wife, who just had a baby? I think it was yesterday or the day before.
He better not on the broadcast, for crying out loud.
Of course I put that out there yesterday. No is minus 500, but you know me. I like to, start up a little controversy with the stuff that I do. That one's a fun thing. Will he wear Mardi Gras beads during the air? Yes is the yes is plus $2. No is minus $3. So there's always something. Or what would he say first? Tom Brady, what would he say first? Taylor or Swift?
Yeah. Hey, last one for you. We know that this is huge corporate parties and things along those lines, that fans who go aren't all necessarily Eagles or Chiefs fans. You have any feeling as to who will be represented more?
I think the Eagles, what I've been seeing around the city and all through media and all that, there's more Eagle fans than Chiefs fans. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the outcome is, what the partying is going to be like if the Eagles win this one. So the Eagles are representing pretty hard here in New Orleans.
All right, Raphael, tell us the very latest. What else is going on at MyBookie and mybookie.org?
Did you know there's a UFC 312 on Sunday as well? Yeah, UFC on Saturday. We have the Puppy Bowl on Saturday. Team Ruff is minus 120. That's over-under in the Puppy Bowl is 200.5 points. You can bet on that. We have NBA on Saturday, a whole bunch of college basketball on Sunday, hockey. It's just a great day, a great weekend to sit around, watch sports, and try not to ignore the loved ones, and try eat healthy this weekend.
There you go. Raphael, always a pleasure. Enjoy the games, and we'll do it again real soon.
Take it easy. Have a great weekend.
There he goes. Raphael Esparza with MyBookie and mybookie.org. Brady better not celebrate his ex-wife's new baby. I mean, you can do that privately. I mean, you don't do that during a Super Bowl broadcast, right? I mean, that maybe I'll get off the schneid here. My 11 years of not betting. Maybe I'll put a band on that if it's allowed. I just can't see it. Why would he? He would lose so much street cred with his boys in his inner circle if he did something like that, in my opinion. But anyway, we shall see. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. Let's do that. I want to get back to the Hall of Fame a little bit on Fred Taylor. All of a sudden, this feels like it's going to be quite a march for him. Next year is going to be dangerous. If you look at the Hall of Fame first-time ballot individuals, back to the game itself. You know, what do you believe of this officiating? And I got something on a boycott, which I want to start with. I've been trying to get to this for the last 2 weeks. I just haven't had time. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
I'm Austin Dillon, driver of the number 3 Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet.
But it's Austin Dillon who wins at Daytona.
And you're listening to 1010XL Jack Sports Radio.
Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Brought to you by San Jose Collision.
The 6th-ranked Gators got back on track Tuesday night with an 86-75 victory over Vanderbilt. Senior guard Will Richard exploded for 21 points and 7 rebounds while going 8 of 11 shooting and played with an extraordinary amount of grit. The Gators head to Auburn on Saturday at 4 o'clock as they get set for a physical matchup with the top-ranked team in the country.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast orthopedic specialists.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage too.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione Law.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, you only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Guys, Valentine's Day is coming. Don't run out of time. Jacksonville Flower Market on Beach and Southside has fresh, beautiful flowers she'll love. Mention radio to get 10% off. They'll even customize the bouquet so it's unique to her. Jacksonville Flower Market on Beach and Southside.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. This Sunday's the big game. Look, don't blame me. This would be much easier if I could say this has finally come. Parties, football, libations, food, all the festivities we welcome every February. The question is, what if you're trying to lose weight but still enjoy watching the with friends? The answer? Nothing. As I've told you before, Awaken 180 is built for real-life scenarios. The reason Awaken 180 is now in their 9th year and growing nationally, the program works. Eat wings and meatballs while watching the Super Bowl. Have a beverage while betting on the Super Bowl. Live your life while enjoying the Super Bowl. I think you get the point. Whether you're in the weight loss phase or in free lifelong maintenance, Awaken 180 won't get in the way of enjoying the big game. Reserve your consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Hey, this is David with Royal Pest Services. The fact that we've been bundled up the past month gave us an idea. Let's bundle up also with our Centricon and Pest Control Bundle, starting at $349. Visit RoyalPestServices.com for your free inspection.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Give a unique gift this Valentine's Day to that special person in your life with a custom-made candle or body care product from Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jax Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's a real busy Friday here on your home of the Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars have announced their coaching staff. I'll run through that here momentarily. We are 48 hours away from Super Bowl 59. Basically a pick'em. You just heard our last guest, Rafael Esparza, say, don't be surprised if all of a sudden Philadelphia becomes the favorite. What was that? The national title where did the line flip in a big college game late? Was it the title game? No,
the title game was like
Ohio
a 7-8 point spread.
It was it Alabama? Was it late? There was a line that totally changed. It flipped from one side to the other. You remember what I'm talking about here?
I'm thinking right now. It wasn't any of the Ohio State games. Was it? I don't think it was Georgia Notre Dame because Georgia was a 2.5, 3-point favorite if I'm not mistaken.
Huh. I'd have to look that up.
It.
Yeah, I think it was a semifinal matchup. If not, it was in the. It was a first-round matchup that was.
It might
really
have been Texas-Ohio State.
You know what it was? It was Texas-Ohio State. Thank you. That line completely, switched. But anyway, it's basically a pick'em, and also, unfortunately, Fred Taylor not selected into the Football Hall of Fame a night ago. Only 4 got in: Antonio Gates, Eric Allen, Sterling Sharp, and Jared Allen. Feel bad for Fred. It's going to be tougher for him next year with Frank Gore becoming eligible. Gore's 3rd all-time in rushing yards, and he's going to get in, even though I think you can make the case that Fred Taylor was a better running back than Frank Gore. Frank Gore stood the test of time. Frank Gore was very consistent for a number of years. And again, he's 3rd all-time rushing. Larry Fitzgerald, by the way, is a first-timer. He's getting in. Drew Brees, Jason Witten are getting in. We'll see about Phillip Rivers and some other snubs as well, including Eli Manning. I absolutely thought Eli would get in, and he did not. Luke Kuechly, everything I read, all the prognostications, everything that was out there, for the most part, had Luke Kuechly getting in. So really unusual with such a impressive list that they didn't select 5. They only selected 4. And it is the smallest group that they've had going all the way back to 2005. All right, I got this a few weeks ago. Let me see. It's actually dated on the 29th of of January. It's amazing to me. Boycotting, to me, never makes sense because I don't believe that people follow through. Right? I mean, I remember when I was in Tallahassee and the tainted title cover of Sports Illustrated came in, and I was getting things started in my radio career in '94, and we had a big Sports Illustrated burning, and it was kind of cool. You know, we had thousands of Sports Illustrateds, and we burnt. And back then, it was like, that's it, boycott Sports Illustrated. I'm not going to read Sports Illustrated. Well, back in 1994, I didn't even have the internet. Okay, I was doing radio with, you know, the Tallahassee Democrat, the Florida Times Union. I used to go by the Osceola with Jerry Kutz and Daniel Mitchell and those guys because they had every state paper. Back then, you know, you had a beat writer from all of these papers, probably 7 or 8 of them. You know, there were more papers, but 7 or 8 beat writers in town covering the Knowles and the USA. Of course I had to read Sports Illustrated. Back then, they had really good writers. Back then, I mean, that was outside of the sporting news. That's where you were getting some really good stuff. So anyway, the boycott didn't end, in my opinion. I'll tell you that here in Jacksonville, when players were taking a knee, I heard from so many people, that's it, I'm done, I'll never go back. I'll never go to another game. Well, you came back. It was, you know, it's the same thing when I hear about not firing coaches or replacing quarterbacks. I mean, the Trent Baalke one, I honestly thought had some legs. Yeah, I was getting so many that, hey, I'm not going to rebuy. I'm not going to renew my season tickets until Baalke's gone, and now he is gone, and I got to believe the ticket sales have been off the chart for the Jaguars because the momentum has really picked up, and you know, it feels like it's a positive here in the city, which is great news. So anyway, my point is I don't believe that boycotts really last. Okay, but I was given this that because of the officiating. This is from the Stuff Media Group. They put together this very thorough survey, which included betonline.ag. And again, this is dated on the 29th of January. So this is 8 days, actually 31 days. So this is about, 10, 11 days ago, that at that particular point, over 25,000 Buffalo Bill fans have said they're not watching this year's Super Bowl because of the favoritism that television has to Taylor Swift and to the officiating favoring Patrick Mahomes when it comes to calls. The Ravens, 22,489. The Lions, 17,000. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. For what it's worth, let me see the Jaguars. They got 1,693 Jaguar fans. Maybe some of you are listening. Maybe some of you are not. Who said up until this survey on the 29th day of January that they were not going to watch this game because of those reasons. Do you remember before the national championship game, Dylan? Do you remember we got on our text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, people in town here saying they were not going to watch the national title because it did not involve an SEC school.
I do remember.
Do people really stand by that? I mean, if you're a sports fan, you are that set in your ways that you're not going to watch Super Bowl 59 because you think the officiating favors Kansas City. Wouldn't you rather see it and make a point after the game to your buddies, whatever? See, I told you so. Again, Mahomes got a call. This happened, that happened. Debatable call, pass interference, whatever. If it was the other team, they wouldn't have gotten the call. Kansas City did. I'm shocked by these numbers. And again, I don't know how concise they are because it is a survey and you can check anything you want. And also some time goes by, right? I mean, this is 11 days ago. So all of a sudden it's going to come up in 2 days. And when push comes to shove, I would love to know how many of those people actually are still not going to watch this game. How many of those people who got to us before the national title and told us that they're SEC fans and that they're not going to watch this year's national championship because it didn't involve a school from that conference. I'm going to be as honest as I always am. I don't believe any of you. I do not believe you when you tell me you're not going to. Why would you not watch this Super Bowl? It's a pick'em game. All right? I mean, the national title game was what? 7.5, 8.5 points?
Yep.
I mean, this is a pick'em. Anyway, I don't believe in it. Do you?
No. Everybody says they're tired of the Chiefs, and 57 million people watch the Chiefs-Bills. I mean, you hear it all the time. We saw the same thing with the Patriots, and people will. I remember when the Patriots, when they beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game with Brady, and a lot of people on Twitter would zoom in on the referee when he smiled when the Patriots scored a touchdown.
Yeah,
and they try to find things. I don't. I mean, every game the Chiefs are down in the second half, and they always find a way to come back. I mean, if you were going to live in a world where the Chiefs, and you believe that the Chiefs are fixed, and the NFL wants them to win, wouldn't you not make it to where they have to make a drive at the very end of the game to tie or win the game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's kind of where I go.
I don't know, but most of these fans are Buffalo fans. Okay, what are you going to do in Buffalo? Are you going to watch the Sabres, who are the worst team in the National Hockey League? You know what the Buffalo Sabres have in common with the Buffalo Bills? They're never going to win a championship. The Buffalo Bills in our lifetime are never going to win a Super Bowl. I get it. Last night, Josh Allen gets the MVP. They had a huge coaching signing this week with Ryan Nielsen added to the staff as a defensive assistant. But there's something about Buffalo. It is a city of losers. The Sabres have never won a Stanley Cup. The Sabres are never going to win a Stanley Cup. We may get new first-time Super Bowl quarterback winners. The next one up could be Jalen Hurts. After that, it could be, who knows? It could be Daniels. It could be Herbert.
Goff.
It could be Goff. It could be Burrow. It could be Lawrence. It's not going to be Allen. Buffalo's not going to win a Super Bowl, okay? It's proven. It's not. They're right there with Cleveland. I kind of want to believe that Detroit is going to get there one of these days. I do, and I was actually surprised they lost when they did. But anyway, I'm just really surprised that is the case, that you add all this up, it's, I got to believe 750,000 people that they surveyed. And again, if they continue with this survey over the last 11 days, it had to have gone well over 1 million folks who have come out and said, I'm not going to watch this year's Super Bowl because they believe there's favoritism towards Kansas City. What about all the people out there who are football-only people? Isn't this like a devastating day for you when the game is over? And then you wake up on Monday, which should be a holiday. I'll credit the late David Lamb, my buddy. He was the first I ever heard say it. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Why not have a national holiday? Maybe if they add an 18th game. When's President's Day? Is that?
It's the Monday. It's the 17th this year.
Why not push it back an extra week? Why not? I mean, you would think with all of the intelligent people that there are who run the NFL, who run Fox and Disney and NBC and CBS, you would think it would be really simple. Let's add an 18th game. And I don't know. I mean, you have to add an extra bye. If you're going to go to 18 games, you have to go to 20 weeks.
So it is estimated that Monday, 22 million Americans plan to miss work on Monday, up from 16 million last year.
They have to go to 20 weeks. Right now we have 18 weeks, 17 games. You go to 20 weeks, 18 games. So I think the only way that you can do this by having it on President's Day would be 1 week off between Championship Sunday and the Super Bowl. And I think we'll be okay with that. You know what happens in this business, honestly, is that these 2 weeks, you end up talking about everything else and not the game. I referenced earlier, the years that I would be at Radio Row, every guest that we had on, it was Deflategate. Listen to the stuff that's being talked about this week on Radio Row. The premier story is the officiating. Are the officials going to affect the outcome of this game by making a call or two or more that benefits Kansas City? Now, around here, it was expected because look what the Jaguars have done. I mean, they hired a new coach and they have gone crazy hiring assistant coaches and coordinators. So, that's expected here in Jacksonville. But I just am shocked by this. So maybe that'll be the good news with 18. You just hope that, again, we're talking about really smart people, or at least we're talking about really wealthy people who are going to make the decision here. And I understand that the NFL has to agree upon this with the NFLPA, and they're going to have to make all these changes, which we're going to talk about in the weeks that come up. If you go to an 18th game, you have to expand the roster. You have to, again, improve the injured reserve list. I think not only do you expand the roster, but you need to expand the game day roster. I think you need to change the quarterback rule. Again, there's a lot of things that come into play here. But you give us 20 weeks, 2 byes, 18 games, go from Championship Sunday to the Super Bowl, and then have President's Day? Who's going to argue with that? We'll work. We'll be here. But, most of you will have off. And frankly, it'd be good to be in here, the day after the Super Bowl. But anyway, I thought that was pretty intriguing. All right, we got much more to do. 641-1010 if you want to comment on that. Always your best way to get on in. Getting some good stuff tonight as well on YouTube. Always appreciated. Twitter as well. If you want to pick up the show at 1010XL on Twitter, and you can get me directly. That is Ballou 1010XL on Twitter or X.
Sports for 1,000.
The only sports radio station in Jacksonville worth listening to.
Who is 1010XL?
We have a winner.
Hey, folks, Hicken here for Zero Res. And right now, the hottest price of the year. Listen, we all know we have a pretty notable football game in February just around the corner. The big game, that's what they make us call it. So if you are having people over for the big game, you're going to want to get your carpets clean. Maybe before the game, maybe after the game. Schedule now, and you'll get 3 rooms for $147. And the 4th room is free. 4th room on me. Hottest price of the year. Zero Res, man. It's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
It's time to get up and go to the Jacksonville RV Mega Show, Thursday through Sunday, February 6th through 9th at the Jacksonville Equestrian Center. It's Northeast Florida's largest RV show with hundreds of RVs on display, lifestyle booths, plus win $250 gift cards every day. Adults $10, kids under 12 free. Seniors get half off on Thursday. Military and first responders half off every day. Thursday through Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 9 to 4. The Jacksonville RV Mega Show.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off. And interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings in our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 7, 2023, LeBron James scores 38 points to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer as the Lakers beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. LeBron surpasses Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash. so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, often no appraisals. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day, so act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. Get the money you need for anything at 904-999-1508 or just go to LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Jacksonville Icemen are back home Friday and Saturday night as they battle the Trois Rivières Lions. Friday's game is Cancer Awareness Night, presented by Liberty Landscape. Come support the Icemen as they fight to stick it to cancer. Saturday, bring your dog to the game for Pucks and Paws Night, presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital. 7 o'clock at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksIceman.com, or call 904-602-PUCK. Iceman Hockey is hashtag Frozen Frenzy.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Mia here. It's the Everything's on Sale sale going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Get $0 down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2022 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for $0 down and only $388 per month. Or how about no payments till July 2025? And you get 60 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop the Everything's on Sale sale at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295, and at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/save for more details.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Dylan checked. It was Georgia Notre Dame, the game that changed. -1 to -1 the other way, right?
That's correct.
Notre Dame. Boy, they couldn't play in the title game, but they certainly were impressive getting there. International games. This, I don't know why it boils my blood. It does. I just, maybe I need to learn. You know, they tell me that more people are going to watch the game because Tom Brady is doing it compared to Greg Olsen. I've never been a believer in that, but apparently ratings will prove me wrong. I also think it's kind of ridiculous that you have 7 or 8 studio analysts and all of that. You know, whenever they go to the highlights and halftime, all they do is just basically show and then everyone laughs. But they change quite a bit. And is that going to have any effect on who watches and who doesn't watch? I don't know much about TV in that side of it, but apparently it does. If not, they wouldn't make these changes. They do it consistently. But, to see what came out this week, and Roger Goodell's State of the Union, State of the NFL address, and we know that Jacksonville's going back to London. There'll be 3 games in 2025 in London. The Jags, Jets, and Browns will be hosting. Madrid, where the Dolphins will host. Berlin, where the Colts will host. And Dublin, where the Pittsburgh Steelers will host. And apparently Melbourne's coming in with the Rams in 2026. It's such an inconvenience for the players. It is. And I know when I say that, a lot of you be like, who cares? They get paid way too much money. Go on the road, do this, that. But you lose a home game. Jacksonville has seen that consistently. I just think it is so greedy. If you could make a point that you're really growing the game, okay, that by having a game in Dublin or having a game in Berlin is going to bring you now many more eyeballs who in those countries all of a sudden are going to be like, okay, that was the greatest thing I ever saw. Let's tune in to football over here in the United States of America for the remainder of the season. Then you know what? Everything I'm saying, I'm wrong. And you got me. I just don't have any proof of that. I don't know if they've had any proof of that. I read a lot about it. I don't see anything that supports it. I just think they're going about it the wrong way.
I think a lot of it has to do with the NFL is getting in bed with Amazon, Netflix, now Peacock, now with NBC, and soon they're going to get in bed with Apple, and that's where the money's flowing from. Because those games you can stream those platforms anywhere internationally. So if it makes dollars, it makes sense, and I think that's just the only thing they care about.
I don't know how it works in these countries, okay, but I'll tell you the one I do know, and that's London, and there is no favoritism to the Jaguars. I traveled with the Jaguars for 8 years. I also traveled on the Tom Coughlin flights back in 96 and 97, and you take buses from the stadium, you go through the tarmac and security to the plane. They land, you go to the opposing city. There are buses there waiting for you on the tarmac. They take you to the hotel room. I mean, logistically, the people who work for the Jaguars do such an unbelievable job. You walk in, there's 3 tables, players, coaches, and staff. You're in your hotel room in 10 minutes. Police escort the entire way. After the game, interview, shower up, grab some food, same deal. Police escort out of the stadium to the tarmac and home. I mean, you play these games in Nashville, in Houston. You're home. You play a 1 o'clock game. Game's over by 4:30. You're home at 9 o'clock at night sometimes. When you go to London, you're just a regular passenger. You're going through customs. And oftentimes it felt like we landed and it was during gridlock. It would be, 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30 London time. And it takes you an hour and a half to get from the airport to the hotel. And I know that many times, right when they got there, they practiced or they ate and they had classwork and film study, then practice. And it's like, I'm not a big on the plane sleeper. I don't care how long it is. I'm like, I just remember just being totally upside down. And I was like, this is absurd. Now, granted, I'm a lot older than NFL football players, but it's not convenient for them. And every time that you talk about playing in London, one of the things that we talk about is, okay, they have experience there. Well, yes, some do, but look how much rosters change. Look at this coaching staff. It's entirely new outside of Heath Farwell and Richard Angulo. All right, I don't know if any of these other coaches have experience going over there, but it's a whirlwind. It is. And I also got to believe that there's probably a lot of distractions. tickets, this, and that, because people are flying. And I have trouble with it. I do. I'm not a big fan at all of playing NFL games outside of our country. I'm sorry. And Roger Goodell's talking about playing a Super Bowl abroad. Can you imagine that? You talk about a boycott. Can you imagine if they had a Super Bowl in Berlin? No. The Super Bowl's here. and maybe it doesn't have any effect to you on TV. And I get it. Going to a Super Bowl is difficult because it's incredibly expensive. It's so corporate. And that is a disappointment. It's really the only sport that is that way. Maybe a little bit World Series-wise if you got like a New York-LA matchup. But for the most part, any other sporting event, as long as you're willing to fork over the dollars, you can afford it. You can end up going. 8810, but I've listened to you for years. Expletive move calling Buffalo a city of losers. I appreciate you listening for years. Listen, I'm always going to tell the truth. There's another way to say it. All right. Buffalo's ego is second to none. And look at how they acted here a few years ago during that playoff loss. They took over old St. Augustine Road. They dominated Wing It. It's Buffalo to me is a wrestling heel, right? He's a wrestling heel / jobber. They get out to the early lead. They produce a foreign object. They take it out of their shorts, right? They Pearl Harbor someone. They got the crowd incensed. Then all of a sudden, they end up losing the match. That's Buffalo. Every year we hear about Buffalo. 2806, I hope you come back. But just remember me saying this because I've been saying it forever. You're never going to see Buffalo win anything. They're not going to win a Super Bowl, and they're not going to win a Stanley Cup. When I was doing national radio in Chicago, I referred to my city. Okay? I referred to my city. I referred to the city I grew up in Boston as a third world city. They used to get so pissed at me because during that time period, 2000 through 2006, the only team who won was the Celtics. The Bruins won in 70 and 72. The Red Sox invented ways to lose. The Patriots were doormats. Now, that changed while I was there. In 2004, when the Red Sox finally won, of course, the Patriots went on to win 6, but that all changed. And a lot of people died in New England. A lot of people died in Boston who never had the elation of seeing the Red. And it's a Red Sox town. It's not a Patriots town. Anyone tells you it's a Patriots town, just laugh at them. Patriots were dead number 4 when I grew up. It's a Bruins town. It's a Red Sox town and a Bruins town. And the Bruins fans are the blue-collar fans. They work hard. They drink all night. They party, and they hate when their alarm clock goes off. Celtics fans are kind of, wine and cheese. A little bit of that. But I think that's the sport, right? It was the same thing in L.A. Buffalo just can't win. Yada, yada, yada. No, I don't want to get into that. I definitely don't want to do it. Listening in Fort Myers. I said we listen all over, listening in Fort Myers. Got one listening here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I appreciate that.
See 0489.
What?
Because I imagine if John Madden was still coaching today, he'd take a cargo ship to a lot of these places. I didn't even think about that.
I was watching, it was viral the other day, and it pulled up Madden and Summerall on yet another Super Bowl in New Orleans, 2001, when Brady gets the ball with less than a minute to go, and Madden's like, no, just take 3 knees and go into overtime. And you go to that drive, man, and he features like Jermaine Wiggins, Troy Brown, J.R. Redmond, and he just drives the football down the field with no timeouts.
You see America's
to set up
Game?
Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah, it was a documentary from NFL Films or something, and Charlie Weiss, I think, was the OC, and he said, "Bray, let's be careful here, no mistakes."
Yeah.
And Bledsoe was like, "F that, man, rip it," and sure enough,
Tell you what, I think we have phenomenal broadcasters. I'm a little down on color analysts, especially in football, pro and college. I think we're really lacking for great analysts. All right, we have phenomenal play-by-play guys. But when I went back and watched that drive, man, listening to Pat Summerall and John Madden, that is gold. I mean, that is absolutely spectacular. You know, Pat Summerall was a pretty successful player in his own right. I think primarily, it was long before my time. I'm trying to remember him and Frank Gifford. Gifford, I think, was with the Giants. I don't remember where Summerall was. He might have been with the Giants. Again, it was long before my time, but he was such a great play-by-play man. And he knew the gig. You know, you go back and listen to him, it's all about down and distance. It's all about situational football. And then Madden, with his analysis, is just, even though he totally got it wrong here, it was still magnificent. I think like today's analysts, man, they spend too much time making it about themselves. That's the biggest problem I have with Herb Street. You know, everything is on the edge of controversy about, you know, Kirk making it all about him. And, you know, Aikman complains and Romo's kind of like, hey, Jim. Well, you're not talking to Jim. You're talking to 70 million people. It's always, hey, Jim, this, hey, Jim, you know what, I think they run here. And, Jim, if they don't run, I think they pass. It's like, really? You know, you're not in a bar room with Jim Nantz. You're talking to millions of folks. Anyway, you can't have it all, right? I think play-by-play, so good. Analyst work, could be a little bit better. That is my opinion. All right, let's grab one more. Actually, no. I see we're at 37. We need to take a break. Come back, put our final thoughts on this one. 641-1010 if you want to get in a couple before we do say goodbye for the weekend. We haven't even made our picks yet, have we?
We have not.
I have gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Wow. Pressure's on. Super Bowl 59 picks. We'll get to that on the other side as well.
Frank Franchi.
The quarterback. Two receivers lined up to the left. Once the quarterback has the ball, he fakes to the left. No.
Afternoons.
He fakes to the right.
On 1010XL.
He thinks about faking. He pretends to fake.
Taylor Doll here. Get your mammogram on the Buddy Bus Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 2 at the showroom of Renewal by Anderson Beach and San Pablo. Reserve your spot by calling 904-202-2499. 904-202-2499.
Denny Thompson here. This is the last week to enter for a chance to win a $2,500 prize over at the new Tyson Sound and Security showroom. I'm talking a 75-inch loaded Samsung TV with 3D surround sound, a soundbar with wireless subwoofer, and installation is included. Stop by the new showroom, check out the setup, and drop your name in the box to enter for your chance to win. Giveaway ends Sunday, so go now to Tyson Sound and Security, 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming Island.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Learn more about the beautiful game of soccer and its impact on the River City.
What a beautiful thing to behold.
Get an hour of soccer talk on the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour.
That's all I want to know.
Tuesday at 6 p.m. on 1010 a.m.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text CORE to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text CORE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text CORE to 200-300. That's CORE to 200-300. CORE to 200-300.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. E.T. here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to, and it should be yours too. Online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Is your office productivity running at full speed? Advanced Business Solutions has the solution with Xerox copiers. Whether you need high volume printing, scanning, or secure document management, Xerox copiers deliver efficiency, quality, and innovation. With features like cloud integration and mobile printing, Xerox is perfect for any modern office. Let ABS help you streamline your workflow. Better known, Advanced Business Solutions.
Advanced Business Solutions.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Well, the big news today, the Jaguars have completed their staff. Edgar Bennett, a Jacksonville native, born and raised here, right? He will be the wide receivers coach. The big news for me today was Sean Serrett is the offensive line coach. Liam Cohen, of course, your head coach. Talked a lot about Grant Udinski and Anthony Campanile. Both are the offensive and defensive coordinators, respectively. They did return Heath Farwell as the special teams coordinator. They also did bring back their tight ends coach and Richard Angulo. The passing game coordinator is Shane Waldron. The quarterbacks coach is Spencer Whipple. Running backs coach, Chad Morton. Offensive pass game specialist, John Van Dam. Assistant wide receivers coach, Tyler Tettleton. Defensively, on the line, it's Matt Edwards. Linebackers coach, Tem Lukabu. Defensive backs coach, Anthony Perkins. Ron Milas will be the secondary coach as well. Perkins is actually the defensive backs coach. The assistant defensive line coach is Derek LeBlanc. Assistant linebackers coach, Kevin Wilkins. Assistant DB coach is Drew Lescari. Defensive assistant, Mario Geberiel. And then a couple of assistants to the head coach include Luke Thompson, Jay Kaiser, and Elizabeth Harrison. So that is the coaching staff that is in for your Jaguars. We get a little bit closer to Super Bowl 59. All right, Dylan, lead us off. Who you picking and why on Sunday?
Eagles lead at the half. The Chiefs have not led at the halftime in any of their Super Bowls, and I think the Chiefs get the ball last. Game-winning field goal, something like 26, 23, 27, 25, somewhere in that range. I'm just not betting against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. If I had to say one thing, like we're talking about a lot of the, the defense and the quarterbacks. The run game to me is going to be the deciding factor who wins the game. I don't know how many yards Saquon gets. The Chiefs have done a great job of holding every playoff opponent under 100 yards. The Chiefs kind of do the same, or the Eagles do rather. I just think Mahomes makes a play one more than Jalen Hurts, and I don't trust Jalen Hurts to throw the ball when it's needed in the fourth quarter.
Okay, very interesting. There you go. A lot of me is spot on with that when it comes to Kansas City does this. Kansas City just finds a way, and they kick a field goal at the very end. I think Saquon Barkley's going to have a big game. I think this offensive line, I know Landon Dickerson, that's a concern, and it feels like they're beaten up across that offensive line, but they'll find a way to tough this thing out. And I think Barkley, and this is really unusual to say because Mahomes is spectacular, but I think Barkley's the best player on the field. Mahomes is entering Brady status. He is. But this isn't classic Kansas City offensively. This is more of a gritty-gutty offense that finds ways late. I think here there are two things that are going to happen in this game. I think, number one, Nick Sirianni, he's going to try to win the game. Now, every coach tries to win the game. But what I mean by that, I almost think he's going to take a little bit out of Doug Peterson back when they won the Super Bowl, 7 or 8 years ago. And that is literally diagram some plays where you try to go out and win it, not sit on a lead, not, 3 and out, punt. I think there's going to be a little bit of the roll of the dice. He has heard all week that there is an enormous difference between the experience of Andy Reid, the head coach of Andy Reid, who right now is much like Mahomes. Reid is entering Belichick status. If Reid wins, I think it's the most playoff games that any NFL coach has ever been in, more than Belichick, okay? I think he's still a little bit behind as far as wins, but when you just talk about total games, that is where Reid is. So I think you're going to see Sirianni try to do some things to win it. The other side, believe it or not, this defense is so physical. I think they're going to get to Patrick Mahomes a little bit. I do. And, this is Tiger Woods. This is Michael Jordan. This is Wayne Gretzky. I didn't think we'd ever see anything like this again with Belichick and Brady. And it's happening right now in front of us with Andy Reid and with Patrick Mahomes. So I would be a fool to do anything outside of picking Mahomes and the Chiefs to win it on a last-second field goal. That's what my mind keeps saying. But I'm going to go the other way here. I think Philadelphia and Barkley ends up being the MVP and the best player on the field, and the Philadelphia Eagles win Super Bowl 59. So there you go. Hey,
how many two-point conversions do you think will be attempted this game? I think they're going to set a Super Bowl record. I don't even know what it is, but I feel like they're going to have like 5 or 6, if not more.
That's been so mistake-filled so far throughout these playoffs. I was actually wanting to get to that at some point this week. I have an article on it. I didn't have time to do it. But you can go back to the wild card round. Teams have been chasing points with 2-point conversions way too early. Is there an over-under on 2-point conversions? Did you see one of those props?
I haven't seen one, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably say 2, maybe 3. How about you? You think more?
I'd say 2.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot. There's no doubt that's a lot. All right, so there you go. Dylan's going to stay with Kansas City. I'm going to take Philadelphia.
2-minute drill. Service by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Saving your pick for a little bit later, or have you already unleashed it?
I went Kansas City for a lot of the same reasons that Denmark did. I think if you did a schoolyard pick'em, the 10 best players in the game, probably 6 or 7 are Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Eagles have a better roster. I think the Eagles are probably a better team. But the Eagles don't have Andy Reid, and they don't have Patrick Mahomes.
No, they don't.
It's not a scientific prediction or breakdown. I'm not going to really dissect the X's and O's. I'm just not going to pick against Mahomes. The one thing that I will say is Philadelphia is the type of team that can beat Kansas City because of, like you said, the pass rush and whatnot. So that concerns me a little bit taking the Chiefs. But I also took the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl or be in the Super Bowl back in August.
Yeah.
So at least that's coming to fruition. So I'm going to ride it till the end here.
Yeah, I mean, I picked Kansas City over Detroit in August, but obviously we all make the game and the pick. I'm going to take Philly here. Here's Barkley's been unstoppable.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna have his even against the stout defense. I think Barkley's gonna break 1, if not 2.
You know, the interesting thing about Philadelphia, and maybe I'll talk myself into the Eagles. I agree with you. Saquon Barkley's been phenomenal. We have not talked at all the last 2 weeks about A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, who are really, really good. And Dallas Goedert at tight end. Everybody's talking about Barkley. It would not surprise me at all in the first series. Everybody thinks they're going to pound the rock with Barkley. Watch Jalen Hurts come out there and open it up to A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith a little bit.
Could be the case. And again, Kansas City's always been that way. Although they do commit quite a few penalties, Philadelphia is so tough in the ditch. They're beating up a little bit on the offense, though, including Landon Dickerson. So, anyway, we'll see. What's coming up?
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about the Super Bowl. In fact, we're going to go to New Orleans. My buddy Seren Petro, Sports Radio 810 in Kansas City. He'll give us the Kansas City side of this as we head into the game. Travis Holmes of Big Cat Country will join us, and Shane Hallam. A little draft talk tonight as the scouting combine now less than 3 weeks away.
Man, it is. It's right around the corner. Have a great night and have a great weekend.
Thanks, Rick.
That is Hacker Nation. Appreciate it, folks. You as well. Be safe out there. I don't check the text line or YouTube now that the show is over, but you can always get to me on Twitter or X at Ballou1010XL. Thank you to Rafael Esparza for joining us. Dylan Denmark, the producer. My name is Rick Ballou. Enjoy Super Bowl 59. We will talk all about it coming up Monday at 6 o'clock.